This is Dot Ikurego Achiru, all the way from London, UK. If you're coming to the stream and you can hear me, please give us a thumbs up and let me know you're in so that I know you are here. If you give me a couple of minutes, I'll just share this out as usual and try and grab a few people in like we always do. Hang on, let me just catch one or two people. How is everyone? How is everyone during this lockdown period? Are you good? How are you coping? It could be quite difficult sometimes, not being able to go out and do stuff, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. Better to be home, safe and alive than to be out and about and not okay. So if you come into the live, I just want to share this out to a few people and to a few platforms. Where is she? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you now? Yeah. 1 second. 1 second. Right now. Right. Let's find Facebook. Facebook is always one of them ones. So, domestic abuse. Some people have sent me some questions because what happens is that I try to spread the light. I try to spread the light. I speak that down a bit. I try to spread light and awareness about domestic abuse and domestic violence. Try to explain what it is. Try to create clarity, so that if people understand and they know what it is, potentially they could avoid abusive relationships and being in an abusive situation. So that is basically what I try to do. And then for some people that are in abusive relationships, what I try to do is also to educate them a bit, because some people are in abusive relationship but they don't know. They just know that I am in a horrible situation. I don't understand what's going on. I wish someone could just explain these things to me. So that's what I try to do as well, to explain to people what it is in a nutshell. Yeah, so that's what I try to do. What is domestic abuse? What is domestic abuse? Yeah, if you come into the live, give us a thumbs up. We'll just try to just chat around and just kill time just until people come in, just so that those that come in a bit later don't miss out. They don't miss out on what's going on. I'll just do a quick shout out to people on Facebook just to let them know that we're live on YouTube. It's live, we got time. It's YouTube anyway. No time limit. No hurries when we start. Better to start and start well and have people here than you know what I mean. You start and you have to, and then people come in, and then if you come into the live, give us a thumbs up. Let's know you're here. I'm just trying to shout out to some people, see if we can grab a few people to come to the live. You know what I mean? I'll just do a quick shout out to those on Facebook and say, let's see. I'll just do that real quickly. We're here to talk about domestic abuse. If you have any questions, by the way, about, am I being abused? What is domestic abuse? Type your questions in. I will come back to your questions. I just want to quickly just share out the live stream to a few people, and then we'll just set the ball rolling. If you don't want to start and then people come in, and then we have to go back to talk about the things we've already spoken about. I'm live on YouTube. Let's just start this one. Let's see. Like this, isn't it? Oh, come on, what did I do? Hey, what's going on, people? This is your girl, Dotty Regular, all the way from London, UK. Talk to Dot. I'm actually live now on YouTube, so if you want to catch me, the link is up there. Catch me if you can right now on YouTube. Hit the link and come and catch us there. Massive community on YouTube. Come and get us there, okay? One love. I'll see you in a bit. If you're in the live, I can see that there's some people there. Give us a Oh, I got something in my eyes now. Right. We'll start in about 2 minutes. We will delve right into the topic in about 2 minutes. Yep. We'll delve right into it if you're there. In about 2 minutes, I'm just trying to get some people here because when I start, we don't want to be going back to the beginning as well. But how are you? How are you coping in the lockdown period? You know, how are things? You know, how are things? Let me just type something there. If you are here, give us a thumbs up. Right. Where's the rest of them? Share that out. Um, 1 second, yeah. I'm just gonna share this out quickly. Just 2 minutes, yeah. Get the people in, and then we'll kick off. We'll kick off with a blast, with a boom, 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 boom. Can you hear me though? You can hear me. You can hear me. Right, I just share this one out. Not alone. Post that one there. Share this one out. There. Share this one out. 1 second, yeah. I'll just share it out a bit and then we'll kick off. Kick. If you have any questions, yeah, just start thinking about your questions and also grab a notepad because you might want to take some notes down. Because in this episode, right, I will be talking about, some people ask like, how do I know if I'm being abused? I feel like something's not right. But what I want to do is to not always tell people that they're being abused. I want them to be the judge for themselves. I want to show them, sorry. I want to show them stuff. Yeah, right. Without further ado, yes, this is your girl Dot Ikurigelachiru, all the way from London, UK, and this is Talk to Dot, all the ways from London, UK. In my channel, and I say this all the time, I spend time trying to explain what domestic abuse is and to create awareness so that one category of people do not find themselves going into an abusive relationship. The next category of people that are in relationships understand what's going on so that they don't stay in an abusive relationship. The other category, third category, they understand the relationship and think, okay, fine, I've made a decision that I want to get out of that relationship. I try to create an escape plan because you don't just get out, you need to have a plan, you have to visualize and map out something. The fourth category is they made it out of this abusive relationship, but then it's not exactly what they expected. There's trauma bonding, they're regretting, I should have stayed, should I go back, how do I stay away from this horrible person I left? So the fourth category, I try to help them regain their love, their peace, their everything. I try to, hello, hey, what's going on, H? So I try to help them regain their strength, regain their power, to come back to not who they were before. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be who I was before. And I'm saying, no, you don't want to be who you were before, because who you were before was what got you in an abusive relationship. You want to be better than who you were before. So you want to take who you were before, the elements of who you were before that you need to keep. You need to take bits of what happened in the relationship and learn from it. And then you need to come out, you need to heal and rebrand yourself to become a new person. You understand? You go through the fire and then you come out a new person. One example I give all the time is like a seed. You have a seed gets planted, the seed dies, which is what happens to you in an abusive relationship. You literally die there, and then you sprout out and you become a new person, a brand new person. You understand? Like you said in the Bible, all things are passed away and I've become new. So that's what it is. Right. So going straight into the business today, what is domestic abuse really? Most times people's perception of domestic abuse is violence. But what you need to understand that the violent part domestic abuse is actually one element. So domestic abuse is not just violence. Violence, physical violence is an element of domestic abuse. So a person being hit, that's just one element. You understand? So you could be in a domestic abusive relationship or without being hit. So the violence is one part. So you've got the violent part of it, physical violence. You got financial abuse. You got sexual abuse. You got control. You got lots of things really that makes up domestic abuse and domestic violence. So it's not about being hit. However, because the physical bit is what people see, that's what people think about. So you get a lot of times when people say, "Oh, I've been in an abusive relationship," and they say, "Did he hit you? Did she hit you?" You understand? It's beyond that. Hitting is just one element. Besides, a lot of people go through so much of abuse, so much of emotional and psychological abuse before they actually get hit. The hitting is just one element. You get me? So, domestic abuse is an incident or patterns of incident which is channeled towards controlling and dominating one party in a relationship. The idea of abuse is to gain control and power over. That's just what it is. One person wants to control, overpower, dominate the other person. One person needs to be the boss, the king, the lord of the other person. Now, it could be a man doing this to a woman, and it could also be a woman doing this to a man. You understand? So domestic abuse cuts across culture, race, sex. It's everywhere. You understand? It's everywhere. So in a nutshell, that's what domestic abuse is. Now, domestic abuse could be psychological, it could be emotional, it could be financial, it could be sexual, it could be physical. All of these different elements actually make up what domestic abuse and domestic violence is. So when you see someone who says, "I've been in an abusive relationship, I'm being abused," don't just think about the physical violence. That's just one element. A person can go through a lifetime of hell and not be hit. The hitting comes with, there's certain people that can't communicate. They feel like they need to beat the other person to communicate. So those ones are there. The other people that get emotionally and psychologically abused, but then at the point when they put their foot down for the first time, they get hit. Because a lot of times, like I say, domestic abuse is about power and control and domination of the other person. So when it gets to the stage where you can't control the victim anymore, if it's a man-woman relationship, the next thing that comes is the hitting part of it. Now, in a woman is the abuser and the man is the victim. What happens is the women use a lot of psychological and emotional abuse on the man. Now, if the woman is the higher earning person, she could use financial abuse as well. But most times women are masterminds in psychological and emotional abuse. Now, most times what women do is they kind of create an environment where they charge up the atmosphere, they provoke the man, and they're like, "Oh, they're pushing him, they're shoving him, like, oh, hit me, hit me." So they're trying to push him to do that. It's all psychology. So that's one element of it, and if the man is not strong enough to walk away and he hits, then that hitting becomes an element that the victim abuser, who is female, is going to use against him. So this is, in a nutshell, it's all about controlling, gaining control and power over a person. That's what domestic abuse is. Hey, Cloudy, what's going on? Much love, sister, brother, not sure. Yes, so people ask the question, am I being abused? Am I being abused? Now, you think that a person would know if they're being abused or not, but you know why they don't know? You know why they don't ask that? They ask the question, "Oh, I don't understand. Am I being abused? Is this abuse? I'm not sure what's going on." It's because society only thinks about the physical bit of abuse. So a lot of times when a man or a woman is not being hit, they're not getting that physical violence, they're not sure what's going on, so they begin to ask, "How do I know?" So that's because people don't focus on the emotional and the psychological bit, the financial bit, the sexual bit. So we'll go into those things, and at the end of the day, if you're listening and you're asking yourself that question, like, "Am I being abused?" and you're not sure, you will answer the question yourself. I don't need to answer the question. You listen to the things I'm saying, and then if you say yes to a couple of them, then, oh my goodness, yes, you are. Yes, you are being abused, and it's not going to change, it's not going to get better, but at least you are being made aware of the situation. So literally, hold on. Literally, when we come to, let's start with emotional abuse. Now, if you're in a relationship, you're like, okay, something's not right. Now, these are the things you need to ask yourself. Now you're not being hit, so that we're striking out the physical part of it. So there's no physical violence, but you're like, oh my goodness, this person is so aggressive, they're so controlling, they isolate me. If they're doing all these things, then it is abuse. Like no one, the idea of isolating you is to break your social ties and your social network, so you don't have your social support system. Those people that would be able to wake you up, those people that you could talk to, that will say, oh no, hang on, that's not right. The idea of isolation is to break your social ties. Now, if you don't communicate with the outside world and you're only communicating with that one person who is nasty and horrible to you, before time, they become your master. They become your master, be it male or female. They become the only person, your source of intelligence, your source of knowledge, your source of everything. You become dependent on them. The idea of isolating you, is to make you dependent on them. So are you in a relationship that you are being isolated? You're not allowed to interact with people. You have to ask. You want to meet up with your friends. You don't see your friends anymore. You're just in the house. You have to be around this person 24/7. Are you in that sort of relationship? Because if the answer is yes, then you are being abused. So take that one, put that one down as one of the points. Secondly, right, are you in a relationship where there's lots of name calling, like see your head, your big head? Look at you can't do anything right. Why does your face look like that? Why did you do that? This food doesn't taste right. Can't you cook? Are you in that sort of relationship where someone constantly criticizing you, putting you down, all your efforts, nothing is good enough, all of a sudden, your food doesn't taste good anymore, you don't dress good anymore, you don't speak well anymore? Are you in that sort of relationship where there's so much name calling and put down? If you are in that relationship, then put that one down. That is abuse. Remember, you haven't got hit yet. You just had someone who doesn't let you go to any place, doesn't let you talk to anyone. Now the person is name calling you, insulting you, putting you down, belittling your efforts, put that one down. You haven't got hit yet. That's abuse. The person likes to control everything. Now, I don't want to go into the extreme bits of control because, like, you're confused. You don't know if you're being abused. I'll keep it at the simple bits of control. So, are you with that person that, needs to be in your business? So they need to know who you talk to, when you talk to people, when you go out. They need to check up on you all the time. They need to know what you're doing. They need to sometimes might even say, oh, is that what you're going to dress or is that how you're dressing today? Yeah, it's okay, but I think pink looks better on you. I think you look better in pink. Now that sounds like a compliment. That sounds like someone who's actually trying to help you. But the idea of it is the next time you want to put on white and you in your head, someone has said, I would prefer it if you dress in pink. Now in your head you're thinking, all right, I don't want to offend this person because they said that I look better in pink all the time. And it's not just someone passing you a compliment, it's someone that will get agitated and get offended. Now there is a difference between someone saying, I prefer this hairstyle, and then you have the right to say, oh, I don't really like it, or I'll do it today, but next time you do something else, and they're fine. I'm talking about someone who says, I prefer you wear pink, and then the next time you don't wear pink, all hell breaks loose. They're literally flipping tables and stuff like that. You don't listen to me and this and that. Or they just break down emotional and start crying. Now that is control. It might sound nice, but it's not. It is control. Are you with that person that calls you all the time? Hey, are you awake now? Okay, let's say you're not married, for instance. Are you awake now? Are you going to work? Are you ready for work? Have you had your breakfast? Are you on the bus now? Are you on the train? Have you started driving? Are you at work? You have to check in and check out of things. Is it lunchtime? Are you on lunch? Why are you not picking your phone? I just wanted to talk to you. Now, it sounds like love. It does really sound like love, like someone just wants to know how you are. They're just concerned about how you're feeling. But you know what? It is control. It's a way of monitoring and controlling what you're doing. And besides, someone who is on the phone or with you all the time has actually blocked any possibility of you interacting with anyone else. You get me? So that's control. That is control. You get me? So, and remember, they haven't hit you yet. So if you're confused about being abused or in an abusive relationship, remember, you're being isolated. You no longer get to see people. You no longer get to hang out with people. You don't do nothing. You're always home. Remember, Now they're controlling stuff you do, what you wear, how you wear them, when you eat, when you watch TV, who you talk to. They're checking up on your phone, they're checking up on this. There's the name calling, and they put down how you're big head and you don't do this, you don't speak well, you don't dress well, what's wrong with you. These things come out. The person that will say something nasty to you and laugh about it, and they can't see anything. And if you did say, I don't like what you said, they get upset that you're calling them out. So they're not actually upset that you're speaking your mind. They're upset that you're calling them out, that they're being abusive. Remember now, see, all these things are going on, but you haven't been hit yet. So abuse is not just about physical violence. The physical violence comes later. We'll get to that. Now I'm trying to show you. If you said yes to these 4 points already, trust me, this is abuse. You're going through like some serious psychological and emotional abuse. And the idea of all of this is to break you down, spirit, soul, and body, to the point where you are totally dependent on this person. And then when you become dependent on this person, what happens? Even when they set you free, you can't function, because for a long time you've been dependent on someone. You see what I mean? Right. Hold up. Now, are you with someone that makes you feel that you are responsible for the abuse? So someone is insulting, even rude towards you, but then they blame you for that. They're saying, do you know what? I don't usually talk like this, but because of your nature, there's just something about you that just makes me want to. So they blame you for their bad character. Are you with that person? And then over time, you begin to feel like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have said yes. Are you with that person? That is abuse. You understand? You have the right as a human being in a relationship to say no. If someone says something like, do you want this? You have the right to say no. If you're with someone that gets angry because you said no, that's abuse. You understand? You don't have to be made to feel bad for saying no or yes. You don't have to say, oh my goodness, maybe I shouldn't have said no. No, you have the right to say no. You're entitled to your individuality. You're entitled to your own, your thoughts, and everything. So that's abuse. That's abuse. Remember, we haven't spoken about physical violence yet, and all of these things are going on. Now, this person threatens your friends, threatens your family. Hang on. Is it because of that girl that you want to go out? Do you know what? I'm going to smash her head. I'm going to do this. Are you with that person that threatens your friends and your family? Now, they may not threaten them in front of them. They might tell you that they're going to do this and that to them. And that makes you, because you don't want that embarrassment. You don't want that. You kind of cut off from your friends and family. Are you with that person that says, I'll do this and that, keeps threatening? If they're going to do what they're saying or not, it's not the issue. But the fact that they're constantly threatening, threats of violence. They don't have to have done it, but they speak it all the time. Do you understand? If someone says, I'm going to do this, if this happens, they don't have to do it. That's threats of that violence. That is abuse. Because in your head, the way the human brain works, someone says they're going to do something, they don't have to do it. In your mind, you're beginning to wonder. You're beginning to put it together, piece it together. Okay, hang on, they're going to do this. Are they going to do that? So you're left to imagine. Now, because you don't want those things to happen, you stay under control. Control, ding, ding, abuse. Right. You have someone who is constantly criticizing your parenting skills, criticize your family, your friends, your job, and everything you do. That's so much that everything you do, you begin to question yourself, like, am I really good at anything? Can I really do anything? You understand? This is what these sort of relationships are. We're looking at, seriously, psychological and emotional abuse. We've not even come to the physical part of it. If you're going through all these things and you're taking notes, I think at this point, without me even going further, you can actually tell yourself right now that you are in an abusive relationship. And the question at the end will be, what are you going to do about it? Now, all of this psychological stuff, the idea is to make you feel worthless, make you lose yourself, make you lose your dignity, make you lose your, as they say, raison d'etre. You understand? You just exist. Now you begin to, because you're with that person you love, and they're doing all of this psychological manipulation to you, you're beginning to depend on them. It's like Your joy, your love, your peace is from them. You need validation from them. And why do you need validation from them? Because you're isolated. You don't have anybody. You've cut off from the world. It's just them. So you begin to spend your life walking on eggshells, trying to please them. And you can't, like today you make a cup of tea and it's too hot. Tomorrow you make it not so hot. It's not hot at all because yesterday I said it was hot. Are you with that person that you can never understand what's right? So you're constantly walking on eggshells. The idea of that is when an abusive person does that, where you never know when you're right or wrong, it makes you begin to second guess yourself. You begin to question yourself, like you're not sure, And this is why when people leave an emotionally or a psychologically or a physically abusive relationship, one of the things they struggle with is standing on their own. They can't do that because for so long they've been broken so much that they don't know what's right or what's wrong. They can't fit into the world. They're like, all right, I don't know, is this right? Can I do this? Am I able to do that? Because you lived so long in a place where every single thing you did was wrong. You get me? We're getting there. We're getting there. Let's go to the sexual bit. You still haven't hit you yet. Are you with that person that makes you do things sexually that you don't want to? So let's back up a bit. Are you with that person that you can't say no to sex? So you say, I don't feel like having sex, and it's a big deal. The house is gonna flip. They might not hit you, but then they will complain. Oh, look at you, you're frigid, you don't like me anymore, you might be a lesbian, you're not drawn to men, you have no emotional sentiment, you have no emotional feelings. Are you with that person that will name call you, belittle you, and put you in a very uncomfortable position because you said you didn't want to have sex, and then you have to do it? You're being manipulated. It's called reverse psychology. So they name call you, they put you down, and then because you feel so bad, because you just don't want any issues, you now have to do it even though you don't want to do it. Now that's sexual abuse, and that's not right. Are you with that person that makes you do stuff sexually that you don't want? So there are different ways people have sex. Maybe you don't want to have rough sex, for instance. Like right now in the UK, there's this bill the MPs are pushing for a bill for rough sex because too many people are being killed. Too many women are being killed during the whole rough sex thing. Are you with that person that forces you to do sexual acts that you don't want to? It is your choice at the end of the day. You might say, okay, fine, I don't feel comfortable doing that. In a normal relationship, it should be fine. All right, you don't want to try that, then that's great. But are you with someone that makes you do stuff that you don't want to do? They haven't hit you yet, but then you have to do these things. Pushing it further, we have people that, they push their partners. I would say to start dealing with manipulations, you need to have a solid place in life to stand on justice. Oh, I lost that there. Yes. Self-esteem. So abuse might even cause so much damage. Truth. What? That's exactly true. So are you with that person, yeah? That sometimes extreme cases actually makes you have sex with your friends, or some random nonsense that goes on. I see all kinds of things, I read all kinds of things. It is abuse. It is definitely abuse. You understand? Some people actually manipulate their female partners or their male partners to have sex with their friends because they need money or they need a favor, and they can go into like, it's not a big deal. We need this business deal. Why won't you just do that? Why won't you just do that in family? What's wrong with you? Everybody else is doing that. You understand? That's not right. That's abuse. You understand? Especially when you feel pressured to do that, when you don't have a choice. In life here, you have to have a choice. Even in marriage or relationship, you should have a choice. When you're in a relationship that you have no choice, you have to just be like, yes, boss, yes, boss. To either the man or the woman, whoever is the abusive person, that it's not right, it's abuse. It is abuse. Are you with that person that has, they've got an STI and STD, but they still want to have sex with you, and they impose that fact, they have sex with you anyways, even though they've got an infection. Now that's abuse. That is abuse. In fact, are you with that person that rapes you? Yeah, rape is when you don't give consent. So no means no, but that's the topic of his own. But are you with that person that you don't have a choice? You don't have a choice. Whether you like it or not, it's happening. That person that has to pin you down, rip your pants off, and have sex with you and say, well, hang on, we're married. We're married, so there's nothing wrong with it. You're not supposed to say no to me because we're together. You see, that's abuse. In fact, that's rape. Now, they haven't hit you yet. Remember, they haven't hit you yet. Now, all of these things are going on, and this is what domestic abuse and domestic violence is. But I think that a lot of times when people say This organization is called domestic violence. Once people hear violence, they interpret violence as the physical. So isolation, control, name calling, financial abuse, keeping funds from a person. What's the other one? Sexual abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse. All of these things make up violence. I once spoke to someone who said, I'm not a violent person, I'm not violent, and that's why I'm not violent. I'm looking like the way you're sounding, man, you are violent. He's like, no, I haven't done anything yet. I said, but violence is defined as threats of violence. So you shouting and raging uncontrollably, that is violence. Is someone afraid of the way you speak? That is violence. You don't have to hit the person to be violent. There's lots of things you can, that alone, you can, look what you made me do. You didn't even hit the person. That is violence. You get me? So people say, oh no, I didn't touch her. I didn't touch him. I'm not a violent person. No, you are very violent. The fact you're doing all those things, in fact, you are violent. Very, very violent. Get away from me. You are violent. Your son. Jokes. But yes, all of these things are things that make up domestic abuse and domestic violence. So you don't have to get hit. Now, at what point does an emotionally abusive relationship, a psychologically abusive, a manipulative relationship, a controlling relationship, a jealous relationship, when does all of this become violent? Now, outside those people that just don't know how to keep their fists down, they just have to hit people. There's some people that they don't really hit at the beginning. So when you've done the whole yes, boss, whatever you want, I just want peace, when you've done that for a while, and then a little more no to the partner, there you go. That's right. So when you get to that point where you say, do you know what? I've had enough of this. I want to go see my friends. I want to take the kids out. I want to do this. I want to go back to school. Oh, I forgot that one. Are you with that person that stops you from going to work? That person that says, oh no, don't work. You stay there to take care of the children. That's what women do. Are you with that person that stops your dreams? That stops you from getting an education, from doing things you want to do, from pursuing your dream? That is abuse. Now, when you get to that stage where you say, do you know what? I've not done anything for years. I want to go out. I want to do this. I want to do something about my life. And the person says that, okay, hang on. I'm losing control over this person. She's snapping out of it, or he's snapping out of it. Guess what? Physical. Because remember, domestic abuse is about gaining power and control over the other person. So when the control is beginning to wear out, when the manipulation is not working anymore, so they now need to inflict a bit of fear, which is by hitting. Now, some relationships, even when the victim is beginning to wake up, there still isn't physical violence. You might have those ones that try to like bump up the psychological abuse, like saying stuff like, oh, you don't love me anymore, I'm just gonna kill myself because you don't want to listen to me anymore. And then they get sick and they try to kill themselves. Now that one is that's a different level. You understand? Those kind of people that say they'll kill themselves, trust me, anybody that says they'll kill themselves if you leave them, they will kill you even if you stay with them, so you're not safe. You understand? So that's another level. But most times when a victim begins to call them all out, like, I can't do this anymore. This is not right. You can't talk to me like this. I have to do things. I need to go out. I need to speak to my friends. You can't keep checking up on me. And then that's when the hitting starts. That's when the physical violence starts. Remember that before a person gets hit and they don't do anything about it, because you wonder, how did he hit her? How did he break her ribs and she's still there? That's because there's been a lot of psychological damage that has taken place. You get me? There's a lot that's taking place. I'm talking about relationships where there was no physical violence at the beginning. I've spoken with lots of people that went through psychological and emotional abuse, yeah? And one thing they said that was common? I wish he would just hit me. Now, this is for the women, because with the men, it's kind of different. They were traumatized so much. You understand? Now, for religious people, yeah, that they're like, all right, like, how do we talk about this stuff from the Bible? Remember that the Bible says that life and death is in your tongue. Now, if you're with someone that can pull you down, remember they said the tongue is the smallest element, but it can bring down mountains, the tongue. Now, with a psychological and emotionally abusive relationship, What is the major characteristic? This person has the ability to put you down to the lowest point. They have the ability to speak words into you, on vile words, in fact, vile words that break you down, spirit, soul, and body. You get me? Now, in an emotionally abusive relationship, you know what? People literally die there. Now, when I say people die in abusive relationship, people think, oh, but she's still alive. Guess what? The physical death, right? That's the last one. A lot of people that have been in abusive relationships, you know what they say? I exist. When a person gets to that stage where they say, I just exist, it means they've died. They die spiritually, they die emotionally. They die. They just existing. They just do what they're like puppets. That's why when you see them, you're thinking, how is this person taking all this nonsense? Why wouldn't they just go? Why can't they just leave? Guess what? It's because they're dead. Inside of them, they're dead. That's why they can't do anything. And that's what the abuser, that's what the abuser does. Now, in men that have been in that kind of relationship where they have, a covert narcissist abusing them, a lot of men, you know what? When they've been traumatized so much, even when you set them free, they can't make any sense out of it. A lot of them kill themselves. You understand? It's really terrible. Words are very, very powerful. With physical wounds here, I'm not trying to put down physical violence in any way. With physical wounds here, yeah, go to the hospital, patch you up. Besides, people will see the physical wounds and they'll rescue you. With those words, right? Even when people come out of an abusive relationship, they can't get over those words. Especially if it's been for a long time. Do you understand? These people 5-10 years later, those words are still ringing in their heads. People have to go through CBT, which is a cognitive behavioral therapy. They have to do NLP, neuro linguistic program, something like that. Because what they're doing there is they have to reset, they have to rewire your brain, your thought process. That's what emotional and psychological abuse does. So if you're listening and if you're asking that question and you know people that are talking about this stuff, they're saying, oh, I don't know if I'm being abused. If they're going through all these things and they haven't been hit, trust me, they're being abused. And they don't even need to be there because it never gets better. It does not get better at all. Hang on, let me just look at the chat and see what people are saying. Sex, I'm telling them cheating is bad. It's the same. Pushing, let's not make it. Hold on. Telling too much no to the partner, to her telling that cheating is bad is bad. Not quite sure if I get that last one that was said, but I'm not sure. Let's not make it a one way. Anyway, I'm not sure. If you can retype that, then maybe I can see what you're trying to say. So the level is self-esteem to abuse, manipulation won't cause. It's that I would say to start dealing with manipulations, you need to have a solid place in life. Yes, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, they put you down and make you feel bad. Yes, exactly. They do all that stuff to you. So yeah, that's the truth about it. Yeah. So going back to a list, yeah, if you got pen and paper, if you've been abused, if you're in an abusive relationship, if you're unclear, if you know people that are going through it, I'll go through a list of it. And then if you say even yes to 2 of this, then it is an abusive relationship and you need to get help. Personally, I call it as it is. People say don't make a choice for people. If you come to me, right, and you say yes to 2 of these things, I'll be telling you get out of that relationship. I won't say, oh no, so what are you going to do? No, I'll be like, get out. Because the longer you stay, the more difficult it is to come out of the relationship, and the more damage that's going to come to you. So number 1, does your partner or someone close to you criticize you, put you down, or call you names? If you say yes, abuse. Are you frightened about how your partner will react if you get into an argument? So you're with someone you can have an argument. You're with someone who you can't have an argument with. Meanwhile, you can argue with your brother, your sister, your friends, your pastor, your boss, everybody. But this person you live with and you're in love with, you cannot even take another opinion. You're scared. Number 3, are you frightened of your partner when he or she has been drinking? So this relationship where there's alcohol and substance, so when they're drunk and they're a bit like not themselves, are you afraid of them? Like okay, what are they going to do now? Because the people who drink, they get drunk, but you're not afraid of them. They just pass out and sleep. But are you scared that this person, when they're drunk, they're going to rape you, they're going to hit you, they're going to choke you, they're going to try to kill you? Are you with one of those people? That's an abusive relationship. Has your partner ever hit you? Physical violence. If they have, even if they say sorry, it's never going to happen again. Even though it took 10 years, it doesn't happen. Trust me, it's in there. It's waiting to come out. Besides, that first act of hitting you is something to just inflict fear in you. Because for the rest of that relationship, you're going to think, oh my God, he hit me. He can do it again. It's there. He's got it. You understand? Hang on, let me just see what this person wrote before I carry on. We're number 4, so the next one will be number 5. I would say, oh, where is it now? It's gone. Retracted the message. Okay, carry on then. Number 5. Does your partner complain about your friendships or your family members or stop you from seeing them? That's isolation. My best phrase ever, and I need to even patent it. It is, isolation is the breeding ground of abuse. Anyone that wants to keep you locked up, that doesn't want you to see your friends, your family, the person is on a mission to control and dominate your life. The person is on a mission to break your social networks and people that will raise you up. Now ask yourself, all your life, until you are 25, 26, 27, 30, 40 years old, you got your father, you got your mother, you got your friends. These people have always been around you. They've been your pillar. Then someone comes into your life and says, no, these people are your pillars. You don't cut them off. Once someone starts to do that, abuse. Number 6. Does your partner ask you to do things that you are uncomfortable with? It could be anything. It could be sexual. It could be financial. It could be anything. You don't feel comfortable about it, but however, you can't say no. That's abuse. Are you worried that your children are seeing or hearing things they shouldn't be? So there's things like the name calling, the shouting, the screaming, the insults, overtly or covertly. Your children see that. Does that worry you that they shouldn't be seeing that? I know people, that insist on having sex with their partners in front of the kids. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. And some people do that and they're fine with it. Do you feel uncomfortable with that? Because that's wrong. As long as you don't feel comfortable. I know people that walk about the house naked. Now, some people don't mind, but if one party has an issue with the fact that you just swinging your thing around the house in front of the kids, like, come on now. If one person feels like, I don't feel comfortable with this, but you can't talk about it, you can't have a family meeting, then that's wrong. That's really, really wrong. Number 8 now. Has your partner ever forced you to have sex with him or her or other people? Has he or she made you participate in sexual activities that you are not comfortable with? It could be anything. I know people that in pregnancy, they were tired, they had pains, but they were still forced to have sex in uncomfortable positions. Now you think that a person is pregnant and you give them a break. No, it gets worse. In fact, pregnancy, it is recorded that in pregnancy, abuse gets worse. So are you with that person that does all these things to you? Has your partner ever kept you short of money, so you are unable to buy food or other necessary items for yourself or your children? Have you got that person that keeps money, withholds money? And sometimes, you might say, oh no, the family didn't have money. Sometimes abusive people, they create issues just as a way to control you. And I'll give you an example with finance. Now, you guys have some money, which you can save, you can budget, you can use it to do these things, you can plan your groceries. But the abusive person comes around with this idea that doesn't make sense to anybody except themselves. They take all of the family money and family funds and they put it into something, or they spend it on something, a new car or something, or some furniture that is not necessary. And because of that, the family now is in debt. And because the family is in debt, you can't buy clothes, there's no money for the children. So every time you ask, like, oh, can't you see there's no money? Can't you see there's no money? You ask too much, you're being insensitive. These people do stuff like this because that's also a way, it's a tactic, it's manipulation. They could be big and overspenders because as long as there's no money in the house, where are you going to go? You're not going anywhere. You can't ask for anything. You can ask for clothes. You can ask to have your hairstyle. You can't even go. Why are you going out? There's no money. But then the money that came was not used wisely. So that's the tactics. Where's it now? Has your partner prevented you from continuing or starting a college course or from going to work? Now, a relationship is supposed to help people blossom. When the right people come together, when normal people come together, the man will progress in his career, in his visions, in his dreams. The woman will get the support she needs to get to where she's going. When you have an abusive person in the relationship, they stop you from going to where you need to go. Literally, your life will stop. Your career will end there. You'll stop working. You will not do anything that you want to do. You won't pursue your dreams. That you will not develop in any way. You just become stagnant. You as that person. It's abuse. Where is it now? Does your partner constantly check up on you or follow you? Are they always checking like, oh, sorry, who's that on the phone? Who called? Okay, you just put it on speakerphone. Why did they call then? What's that email there? Right, you know what? Oh, we're so in love now. Let's just share our passwords. Let's just share our passwords. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with sharing passwords as long as the sharing of passwords doesn't become something that is used for abuse. So I know people that might say, oh, babes, can you help me check my email? You check what's there, and it's not a problem. But when someone has access to your email and your stuff, and they begin to like, right, in 2009, who's that girl that sent you that message then? In 2009, you didn't even know each other then, and they make up a big issue. Hang on, what's that message there? Why is that person saying hello? What's that person saying happy birthday to you then? That is abuse. Where's the other one then? Right. Finally, love this one. Are you with someone who threatens to take the kids away? Someone who's made it clear that if you ever try to get away from me, if you ever not listen to me, I will make sure you don't have access to the children. Now, women play this game a lot, but some men do that, especially when the man is the one who is the financial earner and the woman doesn't really have much she's doing. That should be stopped from doing a lot of things. So the man has that power to say, I never let you take my kids away. I will make sure I will do everything in my power to make sure you don't take the kids. Women do that as well. If you don't listen to me, if you go out, you're not coming back inside, I won't let you come anywhere near the kids. I'll say this and I'll say that, and they cook up stories. So are you that kind of person that uses the children as a pawn to abuse you, to control you? And that's abuse. These are signs. Now, in all of these things, you can I'm giving you 12 points here, and in those 12, physical violence was just one of them. So you can see that physical violence is just an element in it. But because these are the things they see, people kind of magnify physical violence. You understand? It's just one small element. 12 points. Physical violence is just one of them. If you are experiencing one, or let me be fair now, if you're experiencing 2 or 3 of these, then seriously, you are in an abusive relationship and you need to do something about it. You really need to do something about it. You need to get help. You need to talk to someone and do something about it. Now, as I say this, if you're being abused, remember, it is not your fault and you are not alone. There's loads of people being abused every day. Abuse is like this C19 thing going on. It's everywhere. You understand? It's happening so frequently. So don't feel ashamed. Don't feel bad. I know there's lots of reasons why people feel ashamed, because lots of times people think, how could I have let this happen to me? How can I tell people this is what is going on? People think we're so happy, people are going to blame me, and plus you're being in a relationship where you've been so manipulated and you've been told that it's your fault, you deserve the abuse, you can't do better than that, no one is going to want you. Trust me, these are just projections, yeah? Why is it so hot? Sorry. They're just projecting. Understand? The abuser is just projecting. That's what they do. Now, when you're with someone who says, you don't look good, they're talking about themselves. When they say, oh, I knew it, you're cheating on me, they're telling you they are cheating on you. You understand? They project. You understand? A lot of times, abusive people, they pick people who've got like a clean record, people that are nice. They got, people that are just good people, they're just great people. This is the life they want, that they can never have. This is the life they want to be, they can never have. They affiliate and they attach themselves to these people. And what they do is that they try to exchange the lives. So for everything that is so good and pure about your life, they just discredit everything. They make it seem like you are nothing. But meanwhile, you are everything, and they know that. But they will never make you feel like you are everything, because if they do, how can they control you? They have to make you feel small. You understand? They have to make you feel small. They have to break you. They have to break you. And when you are broken, they've got you where you are. They got you where they need you to be. Okay? So, If anyone's got any question or anything, this is the time to start typing away your questions there, or any contributions at all to the topic. If you want to know if you're being abused, I've gone through 12 points. If you're going through 2 or 3 of them, then you are being abused, definitely being abused. Don't wait to get hit. You don't need to get hit. You don't need to get hit. A lot of men that are being abused are not getting hit, but they are being abused. You understand? And the worst kind of abuse to explain is psychological and emotional abuse. You know why? Because you don't have evidence. How do you prove it? Even though it's there in the law that it is abuse, but how do you prove it? That's why you see people in emotional and psychologically abusive relationships say, I wish he would just hit me. Because for society, that's the only evidence you have. At least when you got that black eye, when you got that busted lip, when you got that broken rib, you can take it to the doctor. And when the doctor asks you, say, he hit me, she hit me. But when these people are so good, they don't do it. You know that you're going through a lot. But you go out there and you say, well, he doesn't give me money. And the person says, no, I give her money. We just don't have money. He says, oh, and he isolates me. He says, I didn't isolate her. She doesn't want to go out. You understand? So it's so difficult to prove, but it's happening, which is why it's so difficult to tell. When people say men don't talk about abuse, it's because men, the higher percentage of abuse that men go through is psychological and emotional. Now, even for a woman going through psychological and emotional abuse, you can't even explain, like you can't even prove it. How are you going to explain what's going on? How do you say, you understand? These people are so good at, I have a post I'm going to put out in the next couple of days. It actually says that the abuser is better at telling a lie and convincing people than a victim is good at telling the truth. So they can tell a lie better than you can tell the truth. So, which is why sometimes people will like, just hit me. Just hit me so I can show people the mark. But when it doesn't happen, how do you prove it? They have something to say for everything. But you know what? Forget about proving to people. Don't prove, do it for yourself. If you need to get out, get out. Don't look for validation from anybody. Validate yourself. If nobody believes you, then yeah, they don't believe you, but you know the truth. Your truth is your truth. You don't need anyone. You know what it is. You know what you went through. You know how you felt. You know what was done to you. That is your truth. And trust me, if you find the right network of people, you'll find out that these people going through the same thing, they will believe you. You don't even need to say it. They will just be like, do you know what? Come and get a hug. I know what you're going through. You understand? So if you are going through an abusive relationship, yeah, it is not your fault. It can never be your fault, okay? No behavior, nothing justifies or validates that sort of behavior. You understand? It doesn't matter. Even if you are cheating, it doesn't justify someone hitting you. Even if you're doing something wrong, there's no justification for abuse. Abuse is bad. There's no excuse for it. Because people kind of try to validate abuse. Oh, because of what this person did, that's why I am like that. No, it is wrong. If you're being abused, it is not your fault and you are not alone. You need to get out, talk to someone. And if you have no one else to talk to, I'm here, talk to Dot. You get me? Talk to Dot. I'll see what my person is saying. Pushing away the partner. He or she won't cheat and won't keep your part in relationship the same. This is just as bad as pushing a sexy partner. Wait, isn't accusations or manipulation, but an actual violation of the law? Society says strictly, perhaps. Yeah, accusations. What is an accusation? Accusation is that you have the facts. If someone, for instance, I broke this phone, I'm saying you broke the phone. That's what it is. I'm accusing you of breaking this phone. But then when, there's some people that just say, they just accuse you of everything, even when it's not right. That's a different thing. That's what abusive people do. You understand? When you're in a relationship with someone that you have to always, it's like a court, it's like a law court. You have to always be trying to provide evidence to prove that you are innocent. That's not right. That's not a relationship. How can you be in a relationship where you have to always justify, oh no, I didn't do that. The person says, no, you did it. I'm sure you did that. You say, no, I didn't do that. No, you did it. Okay, prove to me that you didn't do that. Then you start looking for evidence. You start looking for evidence to prove. You start looking for your alibi. That's not a relationship. If you're in a relationship that you need to accuse someone or try to check up on them or try to make them prove a case, then you shouldn't even be in a relationship at all. You shouldn't even be in a relationship at all. You get me? You shouldn't be in a relationship at all. You understand? I said this to someone. I said, if you are in a relationship, I mean, one thing is that one person is trying to manipulate with feelings and another with actual physical state, including physical state with who children are going to stay with. Oh yeah, yeah. I feel what you mean. I feel what you mean. Yeah, I feel what you mean. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. I didn't read I didn't read the first part. Yeah. So I mean, these things happen, but we need to. If you're in an abusive relationship, you know your truth. You get me? You know your truth. You don't need anyone to validate you. You know your truth. Now, I said something in one of my videos. It is the abuser that is always very quick to play the whole parent alienation thing, which is always trying to like withhold the other person from seeing kids. I say this all the time, right? I don't see two people don't need to stay together. Children do best in a safe, loving environment, whether it be with the father or with the mother or with both of them. If it's a safe, loving environment, then yeah, children should be there. But if they need to be apart, then yeah, they might actually be two happier parents, and then the kids can have two parents that are happy apart than together. Now, where two people have split up and one person has said, I will never let you see these children, I don't really like stuff like that. It makes me, I've seen women that say they are victims of abuse, but then they've put their foot down and said, this guy will never see the children. I'm thinking, why? The only reason, and hear me when I say this, the only reason that a woman will say a man will never see the children is if she fears for the safety of the kids. Now, trust me, there are some crazy people out there. In the last couple of weeks in the UK, we've got loads of men that have killed their children. And in fact, in the last couple of years, we have people where they actually gained custody of the children, like, visitation rights, and then they were allowed to spend the weekend with the kids, and then this man will just decide to kill the children just because he needs to get at the wife. So there's some cases where there's some really sick people out there, and there could be some sick women out there. In those cases, yeah, I can understand the concern for one party to say, I'm not going to let you see the children. However, if there has been a court proceeding and the court has said that this person should be allowed to see the children, you have to obey the law. I know it is a bit sketchy because there's a big case in England where the woman is a victim. The guy won some rights to see the kids. He started off from contact centers to play dates and weekends. And then one weekend he took the kids and just killed them. You see what I mean? But then what was she supposed to do? He won the rights. So as opposed to going against the law and saying, because a lot of times people just decide that one person is not going to see the kids. If someone has gone through the process of going through court and you've been able to prove your case and the court says that, fine, you have the right to see the kids, then I don't see why one person should stand in the way. I know there's a lot of gray areas there, but the law is the law. You understand? Even in cases where people were so sure that it was going to not end well for the children if that person had access. But the truth is, if someone has gone through court and got it, then what are you going to do? You understand? What are you going to do? But it's just, we don't have answers to all these things. Like I said, there's lots of gray areas. Lots of gray areas. Right, what else are people saying? Yes, so once again, it's your girl Dotty Grey Girl Achiru, all the way from London, UK. Talk to Dot. My channel talks about, domestic abuse, domestic violence, trying to create awareness so people don't find themselves in abusive relationships, because I tend to hear it all the time. How did I not know I was being abused? How did I not see this thing? So I try to educate people about what red flags are so they don't make mistake and go into an abusive relationship. I try to shine a light as well, so that those that are in a relationship that is abusive, they can see that, all right, this is not right. These things are not normal. You understand? It's very abnormal. And then when they know that these things are abnormal, they think about what they want to do. Like I said, I don't mince words. If you answer yes to a couple of questions, I'll be like, you need to get out of that house. If you choose to leave the house or not, it's up to you. But I will speak my piece. And besides, in the Western world, it is my civil right to call the police if I think that you're being abused. So I do my part. If you choose to stay, it's up to you, but I will tell you as it is. And then finally, there are those that come out, and then there's issues, child custody, regaining your strength, your power, your purpose, your direction in life. I work with them as well to see how I can help them align themselves to at least make sense and move on with life. Because trust me, when you come out of an abusive relationship, you want to heal. Until you heal, you can't move forward. You need to heal. And if you stay in that place, keep looking to the past and saying, oh God, why did this happen to me? Why me? Why me? Why me? You're not going to move forward. I'll end on this note. There are 3 doors in life. And a very, very fantastic psychologist said this to me. There are 3 doors in life. There's your past, your present, and your future. Now, when it comes to abusive relationship, your past is a relationship. You manage to come out, it's your future. That's door number, no, that's the middle door. The third door is your future. A lot of times people spend years in that middle door trying to understand the past. Why me? Why did it happen to me? Why couldn't she have just loved me? Why couldn't she have just been different? Why, you spend so much time dwelling in that. Remember, you can only open one door at a time. So you stay there in your present, looking at the past, and you just never move on for years and years and years, and you never heal. Do you understand? So you need to shut the door of the past, of that relationship. These people don't change. There's no explanation to why they're just crazy people. For lack of better words to say. They don't change. There's no explanation. They just want to use and abuse. They just want to traumatize you. Cut your losses and end it. Shut the door. You understand? The only thing you take from your past is for you not to make the same mistake again. The rest of it, like, why me? Why are they like that? Can they be better? Can they change? Just shut that door and leave it there. Leave it for the psychologist. You understand? Leave it for the psychologist. Just shut it. No contact with them. And then when you do that and understand your present situation, you can open the door of your future. You can open the door of your future. You can heal. You can move on. Until you shut the door of the past of that nasty, vile relationship, you're not going to move forward. So please shut that door. Okay? My people, one love, yeah? I say this all the time. If you've been abused, it's not your fault. You're not alone. Talk to someone. Don't stay in isolation. All right? Reach out. So many organizations out there. If you got absolutely nobody, please talk to us. Yeah? One love. I got a dollar button there. If you want to give... if you want to donate to the cause, right? If you want to donate to the cause, you want to give offering. Hallelujah! Hit the dollar button there, yeah, and make a donation if you want to. Anyway, you don't have to, but yeah. So on this note, yeah, I gotta say good night. It's just after midnight. Not after midnight. It's after 11 o'clock now, and I'm gonna have to say love you and leave you. One love, peace, guidance, and respect. If you have any questions, leave your questions anyway. I will always go back to the stream and respond to it. Otherwise, go to www.talkto.com and you get in touch, subscribe, ask any questions, pop me any questions, and that's my website. And then I'll be in touch, get back to you. And what else? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of that jazz. Talk to Dot everywhere. And then you guys have been amazing. Absolutely love you guys. Also, if there is a topic in particular that you want me to talk about, or you want me to create a video, videos come out every Tuesday, please send me a message and say, I want you to talk about this topic, I want you to talk about that topic, and then I can do that in my next live, or I can create a video talking about it and addressing the issues. My people, one love. Come on then.